welcome back to Stylish Naija YouTube channel. I want to say thank you to all of our subscribers. Thank you for the love, for the support. I appreciate each and every one of you that have subscribed to Stylish Naija YouTube channel. Thank you so much. Okay, so in today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to cut and sew an off-shoulder sleeve with an organza, and it has an elastic cut at the center. So that's what I'm going to show you how to do. It's a beautiful sleeve. So if you are new to Stylish Naija YouTube channel, you are very and highly welcome. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe and then hit on the bell also to get an update whenever I upload a new video. That's just the basic for that bell. So once you hit it, when I upload a new video, you are going to be among the first people that is going to, or first person that is going to see the video. So okay, so if you want to register for our online classes, so you can see my number scrolling through the screen, send me a message on WhatsApp, and then I'll give you the details of the classes that we have available presently. And you can also follow me on all of my social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, all at Stylish Naija. So in case you miss any of the tutorials there, I normally drop the links there also, so you will be able to get them. Okay, so now let's get started. So I'm going to be making use of an organza. So this is about 1 yard of organza fabric. So I'm going to draft the sleeve first on our pattern paper, and then we'll transfer it to the organza, so it will be easy for us to see. Okay, so we're going to draft the sleeve now before we transfer to our organza. So in drafting, for the top part of the sleeve, so that's the strap part of the sleeve, I'm going to be making use of 5 inches. Originally it's 5 inches. That's what I'm using to drop the sleeve. So because of the tiny pleats that I have on it, I'm going to add 2 inches extra allowance to it. So I'm marking at 7 inches like this. So I'll use 5 inches for the strap, and then 2 inches as extra allowance that I'll pleat. And then the next thing, I'm going to draw out my armhole. So for the armhole, since it is an off-shoulder sleeve, I'm going to put 5 inches like this. And from this point, my round armhole is 9 inches. I'm going to mark 9 inches. And then from this point, I'm going to mark it to this point like this to form my 9 inches. So I'll make my curve like this, my round curve. That's for my armhole. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to measure now is the width of my sleeve. So if you notice, the sleeve is kind of like a slight and balloon sleeve, as in it is not a fitted sleeve. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to measure the length. Sorry. The next thing, I'm going to measure the length of the sleeve. So it is a long sleeve. So I'm going to use 21 inch. Sorry, I'm going to use 21 inches, yes, for the original sleeve, and then I'm going to add 2 inches for my band. So this is the 2 inches here. So I'm going to mark it. So I'll cut out that part when I'm transferring to the fabric. So I'll mark like this. So the next thing is the width of the sleeve. So for the width of the sleeve, I'm going to use 10 inches. So when I'm transferring to my fabric, I'm going to make it about 15. So I'll mark 10 inches like this, and then from this point, I'm just going to slope this like this. I'll slope it like this to this point. So it is a free sleeve, so you can actually measure, you can actually make it however wide. You can use slash and spread also for this. So I'm going to cut out now. So this is the part that is going to be on top. So I'll transfer it to the fabric, and then you will see how it works. I'm just going to take this like this, and then I'm going to cut out. So like I said, I'll increase this part. So I'll just add about 5 inches to it just to make it wide. Okay, so I finished cutting. So the next thing now, I'm going to create the band that I'm going to use for the down part of my sleeve. So in creating the band, it is a very simple process. So I'm going to fold my fabric. I'll fold it into two. And then you are going to determine how many inches, depends on the width that you want. So like I said, I'm using about 2 inches. So I'm going to cut it to be about 2.5 inches. Because when I stitch, I'll even cut it 3 inches because I'm going to sew and turn it. So the next thing you are going to, the width that you are going to use, you are going to use your round sleeve measurement. That's your round wrist measurement. So I'm using about 7 inches, so it will be able to come out from the wrist. So unless if you are going to be adding like a button to it, if you want to add a button to it, you can make it as tight as possible. But if you are not adding a button to it, you make it a little bit loose so it can pass through when measuring your client, so it can pass through their hands. So you see how I'm struggling with it. So I'm going to use about 8 inches width for mine. So you add allowance to it on the side also. So at the end of the day, I'll cut out about 10 inches. So I have what I'm going to use for this down part. So because this down part is a little bit wide, so I'm just going to, when I take it to the machine, I'm going to just do this, just tiny pleats. It's not much, it's not really obvious. Just tiny pleats just to fit into this down part. So that is for that. And then for the center part of our sleeve, we're going to be adding elastic to it. We're going to be adding elastic to the center part of our sleeve. So to add the elastic, I'm going to take the midpoint of my sleeve so you can determine where you want to add your elastic to. So I'm going to mark 13 inches. So this is 13 inches. This is where I'm going to create my, like an elastic case. So to create the elastic case, because if I sew, since it is an organza, if you sew an elastic on it like this, it's going to be obvious. So I'm going to create a casing for it. So I'll cut out a long strap of fabric. So this, I'm going to use on the center part like this. So in creating a casing, it is a very simple process. So I'm going to take this like this. I'll place it here and then I'll stitch it down. So after stitching, I'm going to turn this part like this also. So because you see what I cut out is about roughly 2 inches. So after stitching it down, I'm going to fold this edge and then I'm going to stitch it down just to create like a case like this inside. So it's inside. So that's where I'm going to pass my elastic through. So I'll do that. And then for this top part, that's the off shoulder part, I'm going to use a strap. I'm going to create a strap. So I'm just going to cut a strap of about 1 inch or 1.5 inch. And I'm going to sew. I'll just use it to turn. I'll cut it out and then. So this part I'm going to turn, I'm going to use to turn this part. So before turning this part, I'm going to pleat this part like this. So it comes to 5 inches. So remember my 5 inches. So I'll go ahead and do that. I'll come back and show you even as we continue. Okay, so you see I've stitched the first one just like I explained to you. That's for the center to create the casing. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to cover this up like this, just to make sure that I have space that my elastic is going to pass through. So I think I have enough space. So I'm just going to fold it down and then I will secure it down. So depends on how wide your elastic is. That is what you will use. So you see, so I'm going to stitch it like this. Okay, so you see I finished stitching it. So you see how it is on the outside. So you see the case. So the next thing I'm going to do now, this top part now, I'm going to pleat it, like I said, to fit into about 5 inches. So when I say 5 inches, that means 10 inches. You know it is on fold. So you see what I have here. The next thing I'm going to do now, I'm going to cover up this place. So in covering up, I'm going to use my strap. So I'm going to cover it up just to create like a I'm looking for the right word to use. Like a piping, yeah. I'm going to pipe. So it depends on how big and wide you want your piping to be. So you are the one that will determine that. Okay, so you can see. So I finished sewing. So this is the shoulder part. So you see how it is looking beautiful. So the next thing now, I'm going to sew my band here. So what I'm going to do, just like the way I did before on this top part, I'm going to sew this whole part to fit into my band. So that's what I'm going to do right now. So this is the right side. I'm going to sew it like this, and then it's going to be like this. So I'm going to make sure that the whole of this organza comes into this part. So that's what I'm going to do right now. So the next thing I'm going to do now, so you see how this part is going to look like. So I'm going to do a top stitch on it to cover it up. So you can decide to do a top stitch to cover it up. So the next thing I'm going to do now, I'm going to pass my elastic through this case. I'm going to pass it through it, and then before joining the sleeve on the side together. So I'll just go ahead and do that right now, and then I'll come back and show you the finished sleeve. Okay, so you see what we have. So you see that our sleeve is looking fine. So the next thing now, we're going to pass our elastic. So I'm going to be making use of this safety pin. I don't know. I think that's what it is called. I actually learned that from my mom. Although I don't know the safety pin. So you pass it through like this. Yes, it's safety pin. That's what they were using for napkins. Children napkins and nappies, whatever. So I'm just going to pass it through. Then, you know, we modern moms, we use diapers. Diapers. So I'm just going to do this. So you see the elastic. So you see, because of the casing, it is not visible. So you see it. It is not visible. So I love this. It looks so beautiful. Even though it's an organza, but because of the case, it's not visible and it's not obvious. So I'm just going to cut. So you see, it can stretch however. So I'm going to cut it and then I'll go and join my sleeve on the side. And then we are done. Okay, so at the end of the day, so you see how our sleeve is looking like. So you see this part is looking beautiful, and then this is the shoulder part. My mannequin is not a dress form, so I had to just use tape to try to seal it. So this part is going to be on the shoulder like this, and then this is the armhole part that we are going to stitch to the dress like this, and then this stays here. So if you want this part, if you want it to be fuller, you know mine, I added 2 inches to it. You can add as much as 4 inches just to make it full. And then if you want your sleeve to be bigger, as in width, you can add, you know, I use 15 inches, so you can use yours, you can make it like 20 inches. It's going to be big and fuller. You can actually make this into a very big exaggerated sleeve also. So thank you so much. If you find this video helpful, please, I would appreciate for you to hit on the like button. Thank you so much. I'll see you in my next video.